Here's the get high mode. So you do spawn in with the weapon because if you shoot other players, it does slow them down a little bit. But, you know, it's better off just to run with your hands out. And yeah, as you can see, I mean, it's... I don't know what else to say about it, man. Like, it's pretty trippy, but in a good way. And as I was saying before, it's essentially just like free run from Black Ops 3 minus the exo movement. You'll be running, jumping, sliding, you know, just doing parkour and stuff like that. It's basically just like a 3D platformer, but in first person. And saying that out loud makes me really miss the Mirror's Edge franchise. EA, please bring it back. I'll never forget the first time I played that game on my Xbox 360, man. That game was so freaking cool. Like, jumping between buildings, wall running, doing a bunch of rolls and flips and stuff. Like, Mirror's Edge was awesome. And then Catalyst, that game was awesome too. And you gotta watch out for these platforms right here. They'll like go in and out. And as you can see on the right side of the screen, there is like a progress meter just kind of let you know how you're doing. And yeah, it does take a little bit to get to the top. It's totally worth it though. This mode is a lot of fun. You know, in terms of like XP, you do get a little bit along the way. Like, you'll see these targets, and you can just kind of run around and shoot them. I mean, you don't have to, but you can if you want some extra XP. There's also checkpoints along the way, so, you know, if you die, then you just kind of respawn at those, as you would expect. And yeah, I really hope Call of Duty keeps doing stuff like this, because I really love these kind of modes in the game, you know, like these free run, parkour, platforming type of modes. I'm also biased because I grew up during, like, the PS2 generation, where there was tons of 3D platformers, so, you know, this is, like, one of my favorite video game genres of all time. Think, like, Spyro, Crash Bandicoot, then you had a bunch more niche ones, like Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, for example. Plus all the movie tie-in games that were like 3D platformers slash like 3D action games around that time. You had stuff like SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom, which is like 3D platformer slash collectathon. I'll never forget my local McDonald's had a PS2 system and a GameCube system, and you know, they had like the little kiosks there. They would alternate the games out from time to time, but I remember on the GameCube one, like the one time they had Battle for Bikini Bottom there, which was really cool because I always, you know, I got that game on my PS2 like as soon as it came out. But Battle for Bikini Bottom was one of those games for me where I was just always fiending to play because I loved SpongeBob back then, and I mean, to this day, I still love SpongeBob. I watch SpongeBob all the time. So even though, you know, I'd literally be sitting there at my house just playing on my save file on my PS2 before going out to eat at McDonald's, even when I got to McDonald's, even though obviously my saves weren't going to transfer to McDonald's or anything like that, I was just completely cool with starting up a fresh save at McDonald's and seeing how far I could get before my family finished eating dinner, and then we had to leave. And then I remember they had the Robots game there, which that was another game that I loved as a kid. It was a 3D platformer slash collectathon based on the animated Robots movie. I tell you, man, my McDonald's had some great games in their kiosk. This part is pretty cool too. You like jump on, you like kind of hang on as it takes you around to the other side. Like I was saying, like there's a lot of cool tech and stuff inside of here, man. Like I really hope they do more stuff like this. But anyways, with that, you know, the enemy is so far ahead of me, so, you know, I could finish this, but, you know, you guys probably get the gist of it at this point.